Hello Poker Club. The RBPC it was once called, now we call it the Poker Club. I want to thank all of you and just say tell you what's going on in my move. But first I want to thank Howard Porter. In 1982, when I was a young minister in Presbytery, and a lot of us young ministers were transforming the way Presbytery worked, Howard Porter came to my office and said, "You need recreation." And he got together a group of people, and we started playing poker, and it's changed over the years. But we've lost a few and gained a few, but it's been a very wonderful experience for me since 1982. But I want to let you know, of course, as you probably know, Susan retired last year. I'm retiring officially from Presbytery May the 14th. And after 34 years in this Presbytery, I'm saying adios, goodbye, I'm gone. So we're selling our properties. We've been working on that for this past year, selling different pieces of property. We're trying to sell our house now. We're moving to Huntsville to be with Davis and her husband and 2 children. We're hoping that Gray will one day come to his senses and move back south. Now, as you know, he's with the administration. His girlfriend of 4 years works in the White House, and they're kind of meshed with all this, but we're hoping one day that he'll see the light and move back south, and we're hoping it might be Huntsville that he moves to. So that's why we're moving to Huntsville. I wish you all the best. I do want to make a few comments. Lee, I am going to have the last word here. I heard the other day a woman calling her husband late at night who's coming home from work, and she's frantically talking to him on the phone, and she says, "Dear, be so careful. I just heard on the local news that there's some maniac driving on the interstate against oncoming traffic." And the husband on the cell phone says, "Honey, I know it. There are hundreds of them." Okay. And Susan, I heard that. Susan laughed. I laughed. She knew they were talking about me because it seemed like I'm always going against the traffic. Now, as you probably know, before I went to seminary, I was schooled in dialectic philosophy. And that's all based on the concept that nobody has the truth, that every point needs a counterpoint. And so it seems like I'm always the counterpoint to whatever point's being made. That's made you think of me as the most liberal guy in the world. The Presbytery thinks of me as the most conservative guy in the world. And I guess I'm just a guy driving against the traffic. So we all acknowledge that. But I want to tell you hello, goodbye. I hope to stay in touch. Howard Porter, thank you for setting this up so many years ago. Johnny Robinson, who's been my best friend during the time period. Lee and Sam and Ed and Robert, Jeff Thurkel and Bill, and of course the consummate gentleman of us all, Milton Magnus. So, hello, goodbye. We were set up ostensibly as a parachurch group. I mean, that's kind of how it came about. The irony is, we've been probably the most irreverent group that has ever met from South Highland. And I'll just recall a few points. There's so many good stories from over the years. Lee, I'll always remember the tears you shed upon having your first examination. That's a classic. But think of some of the irreverent things we've done. When Johnny Robinson, hosting poker, has pains and goes to the hospital, we stay at his house, we eat his food, and we have his dessert. Pretty irreverent. I won't mention Margaret Archibald, that's another story. But Howard, I remember so well, Lee, back at one of your old houses, Howard Porter, I think had already moved to Auburn, and came by, and we basically soused him, set him up, and played poker with all his money all night. And we've done some pretty irreverent things over the years. But it's been fun, and I know each and every one of you are honest and good people and strong Christians, though we haven't always exemplified it in each other's presence. And I wish you the best. I'll stay in touch with you, and as I move to Huntsville, I'll send you back, let you know where we are. And Susan and I are doing fine, and our families are fine, and I wish the best for you. God bless each and every one of you, and it has been an experience.